through the research and work that I've done over the last few years, I've gotten to know a little bit about consumers and particularly millennials. If I may, I'm going to tell you a personal story that I think is going to really relate to the topic that we're going to focus on today, jobs to be done. I am going down to my college reunion this weekend. University of Pennsylvania, down in Philadelphia. Any Quakers here? Anyone? Come on. By the way, Jean Chatsky, who's going to be here tomorrow, also a Quaker. So this is me at my graduation. I'm not going to say what year. The 90s. With my Tri-Delt sisters. We have any Greeks here? Any Tri-Delts? Come on, guys. Come on. All right. So as those of you who have had a chance to read my book, How to Be a Financial Grown-Up, you knew we had to get a plug in there. Soon after I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, I bought my very first apartment right here in New York City. It was a co-op studio on the Upper West Side. And what I don't go into detail about in the book is kind of the behind the scenes and how hard it was for me to get a loan. Part of it was because it was a studio, and that's always tough, entry-level, apartments, and it was a rocky real estate market. But another factor was that I didn't have much of a credit history. I had to borrow money from family members, and then once I owned the apartment, I then took out a loan and paid them back. So it's not ideal. And let's face it, I was pretty lucky to even have that option. Very few people would be able to have bought an apartment that way. Anyway, so fast forward to now and to my wonderful stepdaughter, Ashley. She just finished up her sophomore year at Indiana. That's her in the black shirt and plaid skirt. Any Hoosiers here? Probably have more Hoosiers than Quakers, but all right. Anyway, so she is, by the way, she's a cybersecurity major. How many people were cybersecurity majors? No one. Dead silence, right? Because it didn't exist at the time. But it's a really good major now, so definitely encourage your kids. That's a good one. Anyway, so when she was in high school here in New York City, we got tired of just handing her cash because you know how teenagers are. Gimme, 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 I need to buy. She always needed to buy something, always going out with her friends, and we never knew where all the money went. So first we got her a debit card, just to be safe, and then as she learned, we got her and her little brother, who's now 17, credit cards. Now, besides not having to constantly dole out cash to the teenagers, it also allowed them to do things like get Uber cars, because we know city kids don't drive. And of course, the biggest benefit was that we could see what they were buying and often where they were going. Okay, so that is what has been happening day to day with Ashley and her brother, Bradley. But knowing how pivotal it was for me to own my own apartment at age 23, we actually have an ulterior motive. My husband and I really want that for Ashley when she graduates from Indiana in 2 years. So we're also very deliberate in making sure that she's not only saving her lifeguarding money and other money that she earns from various jobs for a down payment, we also want to get her credit score ready. So by having this credit history that we started building with her in her teen years, that is ultimately what I believe will get the job done in getting her ready from a financial standpoint to be able to buy her own apartment when she graduates and hopefully give her the financial stability that I had by doing that. So that's my example of jobs to be done.